Okay, just wait for a few people to get in here. All right. Well, good afternoon, and welcome to Agri-Food Conversations, brought to you by iSelect Fund, the Van Trump Report, and the Yield Lab Institute and Family Farms Group. My name is David Yoakum. I'm an associate here on the iSelect Fund Ventures team, and I'm excited to walk you through our discussion today. Agri-Food Conversations is all about driving innovation in agriculture. Each month, we highlight a specific theme, including emerging topics such as soil health, plant genetics, vertical farming, and aquaculture, to name a few. This month's theme is nutrient efficiency, and on today's call, we're joined by Clark Bell, CEO and co-founder of Aqua-Yield. Aqua-Yield's patented nano-based technology acts as a catalyst to traditional liquid agricultural fertilizers and crop protectant products, helping enhance plant absorption of nutrients and efficacy of crop protectants. This allows farmers to use up to 80% less fertilizer and 20 to 25% less crop protection, promoting environmental stewardship and saving on input costs. Each of you knows that companies are more likely to succeed with the right network of customers, talent, investors, and advisors. We have invited you to this call because you are some of the smartest, most talented people in Aqua-Yield's market. You are potential customers of Aqua-Yield's products and services. You have built or sold a company similar to Aqua-Yield's, or you are a sophisticated business person or agricultural professional who understands the market and the challenges and opportunities Aqua-Yield may face. Before we get started, we have a quick poll question to get a better idea of who we have on the call today. Please take a few seconds to answer. And while the poll is running, we have a few process comments. First, we are not soliciting investment. This presentation is to provide information to help Aqua-Yield find customers, mentors, and other strategic relationships to help them grow their business. You are all on mute. You can use the chat window to ask a question at any time. And at the end of the call, we'll answer as many questions as time allows. This presentation is being recorded and will be available for replay. So without further delay, I am pleased to introduce Clark Bell, CEO and co-founder of Aqua-Yield. Clark, please feel free to take it away.
Thank you, David. What a great opportunity to be joining the Agri-Food conversation and to be speaking with all of you. So I will just dive right into it, everyone. When we talk about everything that I'll be discussing today, what we're specifically talking about is everything related to nutrient and fertilizer waste. When we look at the broad market and all of the great initiatives that are taking place in agriculture when it comes to being more efficient, we believe a huge opportunity is to make all of our fertilizers and crop protection much more efficient. And so what I'm hoping everyone can gain from this time today is they can come from this and say, when it comes to the problem that Aqua-Yield is solving, that problem that we are solving is plant absorption of nutrients, fertilizers, biostimulants, crop protection, things such as pesticide, herbicides, fungicides. So I'd like to start off with showcasing this article that was written by the United States Department of Agriculture in June 7th of 2016. I'll just highlight two parts of this article. To start, it states that the global population is projected to reach 9.7 billion by 2015. And by 2050, we're going to have to grow a lot more food to feed all of those people. Some might think we also need to use a lot more fertilizer. However, too much fertilizer, nitrogen and phosphorus, can be disastrous to ecosystems. This can affect the water, land, air, and biodiversity. The nutrient challenge is to improve fertilizer efficiency to produce more food and energy crops while creating less pollution. Each year, farmers apply millions of tons of manufactured fertilizer, of which 40 to 80% is lost to the environment. Unfortunately, fertilizer runoff that ends up in lakes, rivers, and estuaries can lead to eutrophication. Here locally near where I'm in, Salt Lake City, we have the Utah Lake, which we have not been able to recreate for almost 7 years now due to algae eutrophication. This is harmful to ecosystem. Eutrophication is a process where fertilizer stimulates dense marine and freshwater plant growth, which can lead to the death of animal life due to lack of oxygen. Eutrophication is responsible for the 2014 algae bloom in Lake Erie that poisoned drinking water in Toledo, Ohio. So when this article, when it first came across to me, we were just in the genesis of really starting to get some scalability in Aqua-Yield. And I was really excited that we saw that the USDA recognized that this was an issue. So let's dive into this more to discuss what these problems are and the solutions that are made available. So the problem is that fertilizer is a key to the green revolution of feeding a growing planet. We're going to have to feed 2.3 billion more people in the next 30 years, and we're going to have to do it much more efficiently. When you look at synthetic fertilizer, annually it feeds 3.5 billion people. In North America annually, there's 210 million tons of synthetic fertilizer that's manufactured. And on average, 65 pounds of nitrogen fertilizer is applied on every farm in the USA annually. To give you a size and scope of what that means, that's 970 million acres on average receive 65 pounds of nitrogen. But unfortunately, 30% of nitrogen is not able to get into the plant effectively. Currently, US farmers are using 40 times more nitrogen fertilizers than they were 3/4 of a century ago. And in addition to that, on top of nitrogen, phosphorus, another essential plant nutrient, only 66% of phosphorus is not able to get into that plant. So fertilizer, it has been efficient for the past 75 years, and we believe that there's a major opportunity to solve this problem. So the solution is Aqua-Yield. What we do is we make synthetic fertilizers and chemicals more efficient. Since 2014, we've been able to reduce farmers' use of micronutrients by 90%. And also since 2014, we've been able to reduce a myriad of farmers' usage of macronutrients, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, by as high as 60%. This year, we had nano-zinc, which is our zinc foliar application applied on pecans, and that resulted in an increase in zinc available to the crop. And as they did that, they were able to reduce their zinc by 50%. And we don't just tackle fertilizers. We also have a great showcase of our technology of how it can help with crop protection. Glyphosate, probably the most widely used chemical on most farms. We've been able to help farmers throughout the country reduce their glyphosate as high as 50%. For cotton farmers in Texas, and verified by Texas A&M University, we've been able to do this time and time again. Recently, about 2 weeks ago, we learned of a sugar beet farmer in North Dakota that they've been able to earn an extra $12,000 per 500 acres by utilizing our nanopack over a commodity iron. So there's also significant economic values that come from reducing your fertilizing chemicals and using much better technologies. And our bread basket, where we get a lot of revenue, is in Florida. In Florida, we've been able to increase yield for citrus farmers by 35% in spite them having citrus greening. So with an increase in nutrient uptake and a decrease in synthetic fertilizer use, farms are now much more environmentally efficient and profitable. So let's talk about this opportunity more. Year to date, this year alone, Aqua-Yield has been able to get our products on 1.2 million acres. We believe that the total available market is almost 4.6 billion acres that can have our products applied to them. So again, 970 million acres are being cultivated in the US, but we believe there's 4.6 billion opportunities to apply to all these different acres. Now, this is a very competitive landscape. I just wanted to highlight a lot of the major companies that are making great headways into this marketplace. Some of these have excess of almost $1 billion in financing from the private sector. But the one thing that I wanted to notate here is what we provide at Aqua-Yield. We are not a biostimulant. We're not a biological. We're not a specifically humic acid or a seaweed extract. What Aqua-Yield does is we take a sophisticated silicon dioxide nanoparticle to make all products work better. And it could even help all of these products and companies with what they're trying to accomplish. So who is Aqua-Yield? Aqua-Yield is a nano-liquid company for agricultural biotechnology. Essentially what we do is we make liquid agricultural products more effective at the plant when it's being absorbed. Quick things about us. We were founded in 2014. We're headquartered and we manufacture everything in Draper, Utah, which is just outside of Salt Lake City, about 15 minutes from the international airport. Currently, we're 24 employees and we're growing. We have a portfolio of 12 proven products, and between this quarter, the fourth quarter, and the first quarter of 2021, we will launch 3 more products. Our products are conventional and organic certified, and we have sales in 47 states and 12 countries internationally. So why Aqua-Yield? Why are people coming to us with our value proposition? Essentially, Aqua-Yield, our technology, deliver fertilizer and crop protection more efficiently. And what the outcome of that is a higher yield potential. Growers are able to grow more crops, an improved return on investment. Most of the time, that's a 3-to-1 return on investment from their purchase of our products. Also, reduction of lost fertilizer, which is one of the major problems that we're solving, which then in turn makes it environmentally friendly. And even most importantly for farmers is it's easy to use and it fits all agricultural systems. And I'll showcase that here later on with a couple showcase and case studies. So when we talk about our technology, we talk about nano. And when we talk about nano, what we're essentially talking about with nanotechnology, nanoparticles, is we're talking about size. And that is called the NANOSCALE. So a great way that we showcase our technology and get an idea of showcasing the size to a farmer is we say, imagine if you had a pivot irrigation system, and then think about that pivot irrigation system and how many tractor tires you could put into that pivot irrigation system. And then think about how many poppy seeds you could put into that tractor tire. And essentially, that is what Aqua-Yield is doing, is we're able to take an Aqua-Yield nanoparticle that is sized at 100 nanometers, and we're able to stuff a lot of these calcium ions inside of that Aqua-Yield nanoparticle. And thus, that makes it so that that nanoparticle can then drive that calcium ion into the plant cell. So nanoparticles, what are they? Nanoparticles have been around for a very long time. They've been commercialized here in the United States for almost 70 years. And sophisticated nanoparticles, what they can do is they can recognize targets, they can offer time release properties, and thirdly, they can deliver higher payloads of various compounds. That third one is definitely what we're accomplishing with Aqua-Yield, with our ability to enact endocytosis and driving nutrients into our nanoparticles into the different plants or roots that we're applying our inputs to. So how does nanotechnology fit in agriculture? It's a method and ability to improve nutrient usage efficiency, which of course is what this whole month of Agri-Food Conversations is about. It also enhances crop quality. We've seen an increase in bricks, bigger fruit, tubers, tree nuts, row crops, due to us being able to deliver those nutrients much more efficiently. More is getting to the crop, and we're helping plants fully express their genetic potential. Nanotechnology in agriculture is very flexible. It fits most production systems. Our products can be applied foliar, side dress, in furrow, aerial. It can be fertigated, and it can be even subsurface like drip. It can be banded or broadcast, and most importantly, we have superior tank mix compatibility. All of our products are applied at 4 ounces to the acre. So giving you an idea, a farmer would take 4 ounces of Aqua-Yield, put that into 50 gallons of water, and then that's how that would be applied over that acre on their farm. Of course, due to the lesser amount of fertilizers, there's less salts and less indexes being put in there. So there's improvements in soil and plant health. And of course, this then positions well with fertility and crop protection applications. So the way that we talk about our technology and the way we define it is we call our all of our patented ways of utilizing nanoparticles in agriculture, we call it the NANO-SHIELD. Aqua-Yield Shield is a nano-sized protectant that goes around nutrients, molecules, and ions. So essentially, without the NANO-SHIELD, nutrients are poorly absorbed by leaves and then quickly made unavailable in the soil. This has been a major way of how we've seen these things such as eutrophication or all that fertilizer waste that we're dealing with across the United States and North America. So here's some visuals of how that nano-shield will look and then how it gets put into a liquid form and then permeates into a leaf tissue or into a root hair. So how does that nano-shield work? So our enhanced nano-shield delivery is 1,000 times smaller than a plant cell. It can carry literally thousands of nutrients. The enhanced nano-shield delivery carries nutrients using physics or endocytosis, as I mentioned, directly to the plant, allowing for increased uptake, decreased inputs, and improved yield. So essentially, again, what we do is we improve nutrient uptake, which then increases yield, decreases inputs, and enhances the sustainability of the soil. The Aqua-Yield patented line of products are used on most crops in the United States and in countries throughout the world. So regardless of your crop, your climate, or the chemistry, the enhanced NANO-SHIELD delivery system can drive results where it matters to, and that, of course, being the grower's bottom line. Lastly, I won't go to spend too much time on the way that we showcase with visuals of how this works, but essentially I just wanted to talk about we've got a lot of barriers that we have to get through when we apply our fertilizers or nutrients into a plant. They have to go through the cuticle, the cell wall, into the plasma membrane. And when a fertilizer isn't packaged correctly, if it's not concentrated with nanotechnology and with the Aqua-Yield NANO-SHIELD, that's where we see these inefficiencies. And so at the end of the day, the enhanced NANO-SHIELD delivery, what we do is we are able to create these nano cavities that are temporary and able to penetrate through a tissue or into your root hair so that that nutrition can go to where it needs to be. So let's jump into a couple case studies where I can showcase our products and how there was a return on investment or something that was derivative for it to be worthwhile for a farmer to use it. So first I'm going to showcase an alfalfa field that was at Utah State University, which is the land grant university here in Utah, which of course is where we're headquartered. What I wanted to first drive at is just concentrate on the bottom box here. And you'll see that in one of the iterations, we reduced the phosphorus and potassium into this crop, and we did that by 25%. And then they applied our nano-stress product, which the jug is in the bottom right corner, 3 times. The final value per acre that ended up being $1,000. And so based off of that $15 investment and with them reducing their phosphorus potassium by 25%, they achieved a 3-to-1 return on investment. Now, even more exciting is they just used our nano-stress in conjunction with the regular way that they do it. And that cost them $15, and their final value per acre was $1,043.03. So that provided to them an extra $107 per acre and made it so that they could have a 7-to-1 return on investment. So here's a broad acre crop where we've been able to showcase with the reduction or the addition, how that can be much more exciting for a grower on their bottom line. Another one is this is a nationally known international fresh farm. And what we're able to do is for them, we're able to reduce the amount of their conventional phosphorus from 14 gallons an acre down to using our nanophos at 4 gallons per acre. And just by doing that, a change of the chemicals that they're continually feeding into these crops, they saw a 35% increase in their yield on their cantaloupes, and then 65% increase in yield on their honeydews. Even more than that, as I talked about earlier, we don't just always affect yield, we see crop quality. When they were able to apply our Nano-K product, they were able to increase their bricks by almost 30%, which is the amount of sugar that's available in the melon, which of course carries a higher market in the value and of course is much more fun to eat. And as well, they saw 15% a bigger melon and that had darker meat, and that was their first harvest. On here, the slide says that it's their 4th season as a customer. They've actually now been a customer of ours. This will be their 6th season and are now seeing great results with our product, which we call Nano-N+, which makes nitrogen more efficient. And later on, we'll have some great, maybe not later on this in this agri-food conversation, but later on, we'll have some great data to showcase on here. So now let's talk about potatoes. We worked with a internationally known fresh produce company that has a lot of acres. They're up to, I believe, 30,000 acres. And what we're able to achieve for them in 2 different regions in Idaho and Washington, essentially is they had a rather good increase in return for all the acres that they put on Aqua-Yield. On average, they were seeing an average of yield go up by 30%. And that final value per acre ended up bringing them an extra $130 per acre in Idaho or $230 per acre in Washington. So now that we're on finalizing our 3rd trial with them, we fully expect that they're going to continue to move on with the Aqua-Yield program for potatoes and continue to have great success. Lastly, I'll talk about what we've been able to do with crop protection and active ingredients. This was a trial that was conducted with the University of Tennessee in Martin. That's the backdrop is one of their golf courses where this was conducted. Essentially what we did is there's a product that's called Escalade 2, which is made by New Farm. Escalade 2 has 2,4-D and glyphosate as two of the major active ingredients. What you'll be able to see is that we had a kill rate by adding our Nano Pro, which only cost $2.50 per acre. When they reduced their Escalade by 40% and then included that Nano Pro, it essentially had the exact same percentage of kill of weeds. So Nano Pro shows an improved weed kill and less time after application. And this was done after multiple replicated studies. Nano Pro is actually our #1 seller because oftentimes people are curious about utilizing the enhanced NANO-SHIELD delivery and using a nano liquid on their farm. And they want to see faster results. So they use our Nano Pro and they get better uptake of that herbicide, fungicide, or of course pesticide. And that makes them be a believer to then move on to our fertilizer and nutrient line where we can drastically improve things there. So with all the agronomic and economic third parties from 2014 through 2020, Aqua-Yield, we've conducted 594 field trials. By the end of this year, that's going to be 650. The combined studies have resulted in a decrease in costs by 20%, 22%, an overall yield increase of 13%, and an average return on investment for the farmer that's 3 to 1. We're having great customer traction with large farms. Many of you will recognize some of these names because they're at your grocery stores. And in addition, we also can help small farms. So Aqua-Yield products work for farms of all sizes and in all regions of the US. Quickly about our timeline, we were founded in 2014 and we reached 500,000 in revenue. By 2015, we reached $1 million in revenue. In 2015 to 2017, that's when we really got into the research and development of our core NANO-SHIELD technology. By 2017, we had reached 2 million in revenue, and then we launched our Nano Pro for crop protection applications. At the start of 2018, we then transitioned from being a service-based company to a product-based company, and then launched the myriad of all of our nano-based nano-liquid products. By May of 2018, we registered and completed all of our products to be sold in 47 states. At the start of this year, we hired an industry expert, Jim Krebsbach, who is now our VP of Sales, to expand our acreage. And already in July of 2020, we had our products applied to 1 million acres. We now have moved from just focusing on research and development, and now have a product that we believe is ready for farms to use and to solve this major issue of plant absorption. And we'll continue to focus on our brand strategy and having great marketing to showcase what we're doing. In the first quarter of 2021, we'll launch all of our organic line of products, which will then be able to meet the demands of organic crop producers. In closing, I invite everyone to look at our YouTube channel, where you will find over 55 different grower testimonials. This isn't Aqua-Yield staff or me talking about how great our product is. This is actually growers in the field talking about their experience and why they believe Aqua-Yield is a key part of their farm moving forward. And you'll also be able to hear some of the metrics where they showcase, for instance, Keaton Fry at 7 City Sod. He reduced his dry fertilizer inputs by 20% just by utilizing our NanoGrow product so that he could grow his turfgrass stock faster. We see this time and time again, and I invite everyone to visit the YouTube channel to learn more. Also, I invite everyone to go to our website. It has been revamped, and all of our crop programs or agronomy products, all the information about our products. We have an ongoing blog where you can learn more about how with Aqua-Yield you could yield more with less with a proven award-winning enhanced NANO-SHIELD delivery. So again, when it comes to nutrient use efficiency, we believe the next big thing is very small, and that being NANO-SHIELD. Aqua-Yield's desire is to be the category defining ingredient that makes fertilizers and active ingredients more efficient by utilizing our nano liquid. We're very excited about the opportunities that are ahead of us with the future of farming, and believe we can help overcome many of the issues that we're facing as we grow our food, and believe we have something that can benefit farmers. And that's all from me. David.
Clark, thank you so much. Really impressive data you've been able to show so far. In addition to, it's great to see a company that's taken a really robust and rational path to thinking about doing trials and doing a robust number of trials. We are at the Q&A section of the call today, and so audience members, if you do have questions for Clark, the best way to do that is type your questions into the Q&A box, and I will answer them in the order that they are received. If there are some that sort of cross over and are similar questions, I'll try and put those together best I can. Please don't put questions in the chat box. It just makes it easier if it's all in one place. And I think we do have a first question in Q&A side. Clark, what safety studies are needed as it seems apparent these nanoparticles are being incorporated into the food supply?
Yes, fantastic. We, as mentioned, we've worked with a lot of corporate farms, and that's been an issue of them is, hey, is this nanoparticle being metabolized? So safety studies have been conducted with the EPA at looking at our ingredients, making sure that they're stable, as well with collaborations that we've done with universities on this topic. It will be an ongoing thing because as people hear about things such as nano, they're automatically going to revert to being concerned about having this be in the same eye of something like a genetically modified organism, or there's a big uprising right now with people not wanting to eradicate glyphosate from their farms. So there will be ongoing safety standards that we will continue to showcase. The one thing we like to tell people is everything that we do is in liquid form, so it's very stable. When you deal with nanoparticles that are dry and you could potentially inhale them, that's when you get into some safety issues. It's our fundamental belief that as long as nanotechnology and particles are in liquid, it's definitely much safer, and we'll continue to showcase these offerings.
Thanks for that, Clark. The next question from the audience is, how are you scaling distribution and marketing? And I might add to that manufacturing.
Yeah, manufacturing, we're just barely getting started of being able to have issues with being able to scale. So that, as we continue to automate what we're doing there, we don't believe that's going to be a major hurdle for us. For us, the agricultural supply chain, it's very robust. There's a lot of generational companies that are, in multinational, that are on, millions and hundreds of millions of acres. For Aqua-Yield, our pathway that we have found to be the best is we work with independent dealers and co-ops to showcase our technology. We have found that there's a rift that some companies, they don't want to sell less fertilizer. And unfortunately, with the enhanced NANO-SHIELD delivery, you do have to apply less fertilizer to have it be more effective. So there are some big, partners out there that aren't as interested in what we're doing, but we're starting to see some of the major companies that we're working with right now. And of course, I can't showcase who they are, but they're household names that we're working with, where they realize they need to change their way of manufacturing and bringing products to market. And they're going to use our nano liquid as an ingredient that they can brand to make their products work more efficiently. So to answer again, we're working through independent dealers and also working through regional or state or local co-ops to bring our products to market. And that's how we'll continue to move forward.
Thanks, Clark. Another question from the audience. Could you describe your IP estate?
As far as, is the question like how many patents we have, or?
Yeah, I mean, the way I would probably phrase it is describe generally, does the company have intellectual property around the technology it uses today? And are there aspects that are trade secret?
Yes, correct. Yes, currently we have 6 granted patents. And then a number of those granted patents, of course, are in the US. We have, I believe, 5 international patents and 22 registered trademarks. Pending right now, I believe it's an additional 4 patents that we're working on. We have a great collaboration with the local university here, the University of Utah, where essentially we work with them with some of their nanoparticles that they haven't been able to put into, things such as cancer drug delivery, and are a great fit into agriculture. And some of those patents are in combination with our efforts with them. But yes, we do have issued patents. There are, patented things here, and of course, trade secrets that we hold with, how we make these nanoparticles, get them to work with different chemistries and fertilizers that it can be advantageous for the grower.
I think one final question we have, unless there are more, if you do have questions, do feel free to put them in the Q&A box. Have you tested efficacy of the NANO-SHIELD technology for the delivery of fungicides to control foliar diseases in crops?
We have, yeah, we have one that comes to mind right now. Last year we did one with Wisconsin on potatoes to showcase that. I couldn't put all of our case studies on here due to our limited amount of time. But if you visit Aqua-Yield and you go to our section on NanoPro, if I'm not mistaken, the research that was done in Hancock, Wisconsin, you can see the amount of active ingredient that was reduced, how much more effectively we were able to control, and the visuals are very compelling. So yes, it's something that we are studying. We'll continue to conduct research on because there's just so many different fungicides and crops that can be utilized. But our NanoPro product was very effective there, and we have farmers every day, every week that are using it in that capacity.
Thanks, Clark. A couple more questions rolling in here. Do you see benefits in working with using your product in conjunction with fertilizers that are rapidly soluble ready, further leveraging the reduction of nitrogen and phosphorus buildup in the soil?
Yes, certainly. Yep, that's a key area for us to work with a lot of these people that have these commodity fertilizers that are very soluble, and for us to make it so that they can be more stable. So certainly, yes, it is.
Got it. And then another question here. Can you please describe how the product is compatible with organic farming standards and certifications? Yes.
So there's the USDA has a department which is called the Organic Material Review Institute. We are currently in a pending registration with them. We believe by Q4 or Q1 that we'll have 2 of our products that will be available through them. As well, there's a lot of the local state certifiers that will certify your product that is organic and be used on different state applications. And Aqua-Yield is in the midst of doing that right now because we see the huge opportunity to get better nutrients made available in these organic crops, which just they simply just don't have as many options. And when you look at the amount of phosphorus and nitrogen and how unavailable it is to those organic crops, it's something that we're certainly able to help them alleviate and overcome.
Got it. Thanks, Clark. Well, I think we're at the end of the audience questions, but one question I do have for you, Clark, is how can the audience best help you out today, and how can they reach you?
Yeah, fantastic. Aqua-Yield's goal, which is it's a very big, hairy, and audacious goal, is we want to be on every cultivated acre in America. And so for us, we believe the best way we can do that is by working with a lot of the early innovators and the mavens in agriculture that seek out new technologies to benefit their farm. So the first one is introductions to family farms and corporate farms that we can benefit. Secondly is introductions to dealers or distributors that are looking for advantageous technologies that they can bring to their product mix, such as what Aqua-Yield has to offer that can really help them improve their offerings for their farmers, or secondly, to improve their bottom line. So it'd be those 2 different ways. And then I guess lastly would be people that are interested in making our food more sustainable and make it so that there's no traces left in that food once it comes to a table. People that are interested in that conversation, we'd love to find out what hurdles they are having to overcome and how the enhanced NANO-SHIELD delivery can help them overcome those obstacles.
Excellent. Thanks, Clark. Well, if anybody is interested in reaching out to Clark or their team, his contact information is available here on this slide.
Yes.
And so with that, Clark, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on all the progress to date. I'd also like to thank the audience for your very active participation today. For anybody who's new to this, we host Agri-Food Conversations every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central. And we have a different monthly theme every month on an exciting trend in the agri-food world. You can register for Agri-Food Conversations by going to agrifoodconversations.com. And if you know someone who would like to view this webinar in replay, you can either feel free to share it directly with them, as a replay will be available in the next 24 hours in your inbox. They can also go to agrifoodconversations.com to view it directly. But otherwise, thank you everybody for your time today. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, David.